most businesses that I speak with, they tell me that they need more leads, and often it's not the leads that's the problem, it's the fact that they're invisible. They're the market's best kept secret. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you go from being unknown to being the market leader. So, what we're going to look at, I tried to do this video about 5 times earlier, so there's parts that's been written out already. I'm going to do it again, and hopefully the camera's not going to fail me. So really what we're looking at is, if you've got this quadrant here, in each section there's parts of what you need to be able to do to deliver, to build your credibility and to build your authority. Now in the bottom left hand corner down here, if you can see this, if you're unknown, it's usually because the presence that you have is relatively low and the messaging is just not connecting. So the things that you're saying, the messaging that you're saying to the audience that you've got or trying to build, it's just not connecting. So you're always going to find it to be a challenge and a struggle, and you're going to stay unknown in this space. To the far right of this space, I don't know if you can kind of see this, but when you have a presence, so when you're posting things and it's, getting some engagement and people are seeing you, but it's not connecting with them, i.e. it's not turning into any business, it's not turning into leads or clients that's paying you money, it gets really frustrating and can often lead to you feeling like you're going to burn out. That's quite common, and I think a lot of people will probably resonate with this, is where you've put a lot of effort in, a lot of work, you're posting the content, you're doing the stuff, you're getting some attention, but it's just not putting money in the bank. And I've seen this, and you'll probably see this yourself if you look online. There's some, especially on LinkedIn, there's people on there, I think a lot of them are using pods, by the way. If you go and look at it, there's a really clear indicator of whether or not they're using a pod. They get a load of likes, they get quite a few comments, and they respond to the comments and no one's responding back. They're not even liking what's being said. It's a real clear sign that someone's using a pod. I see it all the time. But anyway, the next stage is that when you're, I don't know if you can see this up here, but when you start to build some credibility, so you become credible in your space. And the reason that you're doing that is that your messaging is really connecting. So it's really, really hitting home. You're saying the right things, the positioning of it's right, everything's connecting. The challenge that you've got is that not enough people are seeing it. So the presence, I'm just going to write over the top of this so you can see. The presence that you have is not great enough. So you've got the credibility, and this is where I think this space here and this space here is where most people probably spend the majority of their time. Once you've kind of broken through the barriers a little bit, this is where you become the market's best kept secret. And it's a horrible place to be, because you've got the skills, you've got the ability, you've got all the tools, you've got everything that you need to know to help people. And if just more people knew about you, life would be good for them and for you. And it's frustrating, and it's literally down to one thing: your presence is just not there at the moment. You're getting the messaging right, but the presence is off. Ultimately, what we want to lean into is this space over here. This is where you become the authority. I'm going to write on this again, like I said, because I don't think you can see this what's been written on here. And the reason you're an authority now is because that you have the presence and the message. And when you have both these right, you start to be known as the market leader in that space. Strong message, strong presence, you become the market leader. Now, how do we do that? This is the thing that we need to think about. So let's have a look, see what colour is going to work. I think the blue one stood out quite well, didn't it? So I'll use the blue one because it's probably going to be better to show you this. So if we look at this top quadrant up here, there's a few things that needs to happen in order for you to be able to get that market leader status. And I'm going to give you an example of a CRM system. I'm sure you probably all, well, I'd be surprised if you've not heard of this. So it's called HubSpot. It's all-in-one marketing automation software, CRM, do your emails, do your socials, do your blog, everything all in one. You can host your website. It's a fantastic product. This is, by the way, not a promotion about HubSpot. I'm not getting any money for this. I think it's a great product. I use it myself. But HubSpot did something really, really powerful when they launched into the market. And this is how you start to do the same thing when you want to be moving into the market leader. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to, I'm going to get paint all over my hands here now, aren't I? But the first thing you need to do is find the enemy. That's a pirate. So the first thing you need to do is find the enemy. For HubSpot, what they did is they said that outbound no longer works. So they called out things like calling, they called out things like doing emails, call outreach, they called out things like ads. They created an enemy that they could then get behind. And then from that, they showed them the next stage. They showed them what the problem was. So what was the problem with you still doing outbound? Well, the problem that they had is that, you know, it interrupted people. I think you can see this. It interrupted people. What it also did is it created resistance. And frankly, it cost money, cost time. And what they then did is they presented the better way. So they created their target of what they said is the better way of doing it. So they said that what they will do is introduce, let's just see if we can, you can't really see this, can you? Introduce inbound. And they built an entire category around inbound, which was all about, you know, new tactics in terms of how you attract an audience. So rather than you chasing them, you attract them to you. You do that through, you know, SEO, blogs. You do it through all the kind of stuff where you're gonna help and you're gonna educate. I think that makes sense. You can probably see that. Help and they're going to educate. And they created this whole new category that they then owned themselves. And what that allowed them to do is to move into this space here where they become the authority, they become the market leader. And as a result of that, they showed the proof. Which was they did it themselves. They, you know, did their own blogs, got loads and loads of leads. They provided their own tools, got loads and loads of leads. They provided their own lead magnet information. And all this stuff helped them to build this movement so they owned the space. So really what we've got to be looking at doing is if when you're wanting to go from being just either unknown or credible in your space to the place where you don't get burnt out, you don't get frustrated, but you do become the authority, the market leader, these are the 4 things that you've got to do. You've got to find the enemy. Do you know, what is it that you believe needs to change? What is it that no one else is saying that you need to say? What's the problem of not changing? If they just keep on doing the same thing over and over again, what's the problem of staying the same? If they don't change it, what's the impact going to be for them? The third thing then is to own that space, to own that category by showing them the better way. So your way is I do this and we do this and we do this and this is why it's a better way. And then you loop it back with some proof, whether that's you doing it yourself like HubSpot did with their blogs or their website grader or the tools that they have, but you show some proof as to why that works. And what that will allow you to do is to go from just having great messaging with low presence or, you know, lots of strong presence with no message that's connecting to a place where you've got a great message with great presence and leads that come to you ready to buy. So they've turned up, prepped, they're hot, they're waving their credit cards because they see you as the market leader, the person who's going to help them with their specific challenge and problems. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, like it, leave me a comment if there's anything inside of here that you found really useful, and if you share it to somebody else, that I'd be eternally grateful as well. Don't forget to subscribe and also look out for the videos. Do one of these every single week.